What's up, friends? You ever heard of Brownie Brittle? It's that crispy, yummy brownie. It's like paper thin and it snaps. It's so delicious. They sell it at like Costco and grocery stores. It's $1 billion. So we're gonna make some at home and I'm gonna show you how. There's one crucial thing that you need when you're making Brownie Brittle. It will not work without it, and that is parchment paper. If you don't use parchment paper, the Brownie Brittle will bake right to your pan. And you're gonna need a really large baking pan, so probably about like an 18 by 13 baking pan. Now you can cut this parchment paper so that it fits in here, or you can just kind of make it work, whatever works for you. I cut mine down so that it fits into the pan almost. But what I'm gonna do is spray my pan a little bit, and what that does is it helps the parchment paper actually stick to your pan. So you're not trying to fiddle with the parchment paper the whole time. So you just spray that and then it kind of like glues it down. All right, we're gonna get started with this recipe. The very first thing you need to do is grab some bittersweet baking chocolate. It's gonna look something like this. It will come in squares. For this recipe, you need 1 ounce of this baking chocolate, and it should tell you right on the package how much each square is worth. So you need 1 ounce in this bar. Each square is a ½ an ounce, so I'm gonna use 2 squares. I'm gonna pop those in. Then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of butter. I always use salted butter, people. I don't understand not salted butter. And 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the microwave just until it's melted. All right, this is all melted and delicious. So to this, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder plus 1 tablespoon. Okay, we're gonna give that a good stir, and then we'll just set this aside, and we're gonna get to the egg next. All right, now we need 2 egg whites, and there's lots of different ways you can grab an egg white, but I like just the old traditional method of cracking your egg open and running that yolk back and forth until all the whites are in. All right, I've got the 2 egg whites in there, so I'm gonna put those in my stand mixer with the whisk attachment and whisk it for about 4 minutes until it's really frothy and foamy. All right, we've got the egg whites whisked really well. They're nice and fluffy. I'm gonna add in 3/4 cup of sugar and then a teaspoon of vanilla and whisk it up for about another 15 seconds. All right, this is looking really, really good. And now what we're gonna do is pour in that mixture we made in the beginning with the chocolate squares and the cocoa powder. And then we're gonna mix it up for about another 20 or 30 seconds. All right, this is looking very sticky and thick and delicious. So what we're gonna do now is pull this off of the mixer. We've got this little flour mixture stirred together. It is ½ cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, we're gonna pour this in, and then we're gonna fold it in, and I'm gonna show you how to fold into this mixture. You just swipe and fold the mixture over. Swipe and fold the mixture over. That's folding. And we're gonna keep doing that until it's completely incorporated. All right, that's looking pretty good. The last step is gonna be to spread it out onto the baking sheet. This is one of the most important parts. We've got this baking sheet that we prepped earlier. We're gonna spread this super thin. What I say is that it's like painting the parchment paper with the brownie batter. You ready? On here, literally are gonna spread it so thin. And I am using an offset spatula. I sprayed it with just a little bit of nonstick spray so that I could spread it a little bit easier. Painting. Literally want this to be at most a 1/4 inch thick in all spots. So you're gonna really paint this from edge to edge. You don't want any holes in it. but you do want it to be really thin. All right, I think we've got this nice and thin, just how we need it to bake up nice and crispy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a half a cup of mini chocolate chips and sprinkle these all over the top. And then we're gonna put it in a 325 oven for around 15 minutes, up to 18 minutes, depending on the edges of your Brownie Brittle. If they look like they're starting to burn, then pull it out. If they look good to go, then leave it in up to 18 minutes. All right, there it is, hot out of the oven. This is your Brownie Brittle. Now when it comes out of the oven, it is not going to be crispy yet. So don't message me and tell me that your Brownie Brittle is not crispy. At this point, you've got to let it cool for like 20 minutes, and that's where it gets nice and crispy. So we're gonna let this cool. Now at this point, if you wanted to break your Brownie Brittle up into, let's say, triangles or squares, or you want it to be perfect, it's pretty soft. So you can take a knife and score it if you want to, and then it will break into nice pieces. But I'm just gonna wait and break it up into messy pieces. We'll just get a little crispity. Crispity. Crispity! Crispy! Mmm. Mmm. I hope you make this one. You can find the full recipe at momsdinner.net. See ya, got my chocolatey fingers.